I am, as many of you know, Damaris Coffman. I'm a professor of economics and finance in the built environment, and I have since 2017 been head of department and director of school of what was then the Bartlett School of Construction and Project Management, and today is the Bartlett School of Sustainable Construction. And we are absolutely thrilled to be launching this new MBA in major infrastructure delivery. It is the first specialist MBA or sectorial MBA in major infrastructure anywhere. And it's actually interesting. I was discussing this with Peter Hansford, and I know that John Pelton and I have also reminisced about this. This degree was actually hatched over lunch in 2018 when John was giving us war stories from the Houses of Parliament renovation project, and it became very clear that it was a real challenge for engineering consultancies to grow project managers into program managers. And this is a challenge that was across the sector, and that there was a real opportunity to develop a program that could respond to that challenge. And John was there, Andy Davies was there, Juliana was there, and we started to map out what that program would look like, literally on the back of a cocktail napkin. And I actually have that cocktail napkin at home, and I may bring it in and give it to Giuliano. 5 years later, we have this amazing program that Giuliano has built in conjunction with the advisory board. Peter Hansford's chaired that advisory board, which really has brought together engineering firms, consultancies, and infrastructure clients to think about what would be the best way to design a program that could accommodate the needs of rising stars within these entities who we want to grow into senior leaders. And that, of course, is different from the MBAs that many people take 2 to 4 years out of their undergraduate degrees while they're working for investment banks or consultancies. This is something that's really meant for established professionals who bring their own knowledge to the table and share that with colleagues on the cohort. So this program, which we also discovered, UCL was on the cusp of launching a couple of specialist MBAs. There's also one in the Global Business School for Health, an MBA in health, and had also been successfully had under the Institute of Education, had an MBA in higher education. So UCL as an institution in London is really the only university that does specialist MBAs and certainly knows how to do them well. So we feel like, because we're not running a business school that's trying to compete with Oxford or Cambridge or INSEAD, we've got an environment in which we can have an MBA that is accredited by the business schools, but is actually deeply rooted in its sector, whether it is the education faculty or the built environment faculty or the Global Business School for Health. So this is an MBA that is aiming to make built environment professionals into leaders within their organizations. It's not a kind of pivot degree or an attempt to kind of catch a wave of people who are working for a consultancy suddenly think they want to go into this. That's not what we're doing. We're taking people who already know about infrastructure and turning them into the leaders. So it is really exciting to be presenting this to you. We hope that you will do several things. First of all, if you are one of those people, one of those rising stars or mid-career people who want to move into senior leadership, that this might be the course for you, and we hope that you'll consider that. Those of you who are more senior, we hope that you'll see the value of this course to your organization, take it back to your organization, and get organizational buy-in to send people here who you think would benefit from this course. So we're unveiling it to you with that in mind. We hope that you'll be excited. We hope that you'll ask us tough questions, and we hope that you'll enjoy the talks that our speakers are going to give. I'll introduce them very quickly. Giuliano Denicol is the program leader. This is really his brainchild in the execution. He put this together very quickly, and he then paused and recruited Peter to help him with the external advisory board to refine it in a way that was very responsive to industry. And he'll describe to you how he did that. He also got it through the myriad of UCL approval processes that are required to bring a degree like this to market. You'll then hear from Martin Buck, who, as many of you know, was the commercial director of Crossrail and now is a consultant to Crossrail International. And he'll give you the view from the government's point of view, particularly with the construction industry playbook and infrastructure, the roadmap, in order to see how this really fits within that space. Andy Mitchell, CEO of Thames Tideway, will talk to you about the client's perspective. Infrastructure clients are, in the way that we have them in the UK, specifically a UK phenomenon, although there are analogs elsewhere. And to hear Andy talk about the client's perspective hopefully will be helpful to you. Likewise, Mark Thurston of HS2 will describe from the client's perspective the challenges of building an organization like his own quickly, and how people who graduate from this kind of program can play a role in that. And then, of course, John Pelton, who, again, was there when this course began, who has recently been poached from Jacobs to Costain by Sue Kershaw, who I haven't seen here today, but who's also been heavily involved in giving us advice as a visiting professor. John will tell us about his perspective from the supply chain, and also hopefully reminisce a bit about the long history of this MBA. There'll then be a panel discussion which Peter will chair, and John and Andy will be joined by Michelle Dix of TFL, and we're very delighted to have you here as well. And I think I've probably said enough, unless there's anything that you would like to ask me directly. I am, through July, the director and head of department of the School of Construction and Project Management, now School of Sustainable Construction, through the school BSSC, but I have accepted a brief in September to start as Vice Dean Innovation and Enterprise. So I am in this kind of transitional moment, which means that you're welcome to ask me questions. I'm currently on sabbatical, but I've been really watching and waiting for this program to launch. And I'm really honored that this program has launched while it's still on my watch. But I'm also really a huge evangelist for this program. So if you have questions you'd like to ask me as the director of school, before I turn it over to Giuliano, I'd be happy to answer them. But I can tell you, and I know that Pretty Park is here somewhere, that she, as the acting head of department, that this program has our complete support and absolute, we're absolutely thrilled to be doing this. So if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. If not, I'll turn them over to Giuliano.